It's just the majesty of these trees and knowing how old they are. It's just a beautiful, quiet place. Our life, our time, and our problems are so small compared to what these trees have lived through. In spite of the size of the redwood trees, their worst enemy is man, and they are very fragile, especially because their root system is so close to the surface. It's 4 to 6 feet underground, and walking on the ground hardens the ground, and it can't absorb the moisture, and it kills the trees.
The redwoods are the main attractions in this symphony of light and color and shape and sound, and 2 trees in particular stand out above the rest.
Our tallest tree, when it was measured quite a long time ago, is the Parson Jones tree, and that's 310 feet, and it's 1,300 years old. The other keynote tree is the Armstrong tree, and that tree was measured at 308 feet, and it's supposed to be 1,400 years old. The age is approximate because we don't core the trees, to take out a core. It's based on this mathematical formula based on the circumference.
The official position for taking in one of these giant creatures is hands on the waist, back arched toward the ground behind you, chin up, and eyes skyward. Trying to capture the size of these trees on tape is a little like harpooning a whale with a toothpick. One cannot get back far enough to place the entirety of the tree in the camera frame. Filming from top to bottom presented a whole nother problem, whereas above the canopy, it's midday, but on the forest floor, it's midnight.
In the last few years, they've been studying the crowns or the tops of the very old trees, and there's a whole world in the tops of these trees that's unbelievable. And we have plants and animals in the tops of the really old trees that never come down to the ground.
You could say the redwoods are the skyscrapers of Big Bottom Valley.
I grew up in New York City. I lived in San Francisco for a few years. I lived in Sacramento for many years. And I really appreciate being able to be away from the city a bit. I think, and it's, as Doris said, I think it's very important for everybody to have places like this, just for one's mental health.
The tiny and the delicate have an equally important role in this emerald forest menagerie. The moss on the trees gathers light the way a peasant in a Diego Rivera painting gathers flowers. Pine needles and branches cling to raindrops like a mother holding a baby.
The trees are growing along Fife Creek. It comes from springs in the hills and it goes down to the river. And when it flows down through the redwoods, it's a beautiful, beautiful scene and a beautiful sound.
To kick back, relax, and snack, there is a large picnic area with plenty of tables, benches, and barbecue grills. To help find your way through the forest maze, there is a trail for every level of hiker, from steep inclines for the thigh burners to family-friendly paths for people of all ages.
You get something from being in the park that you don't get out in the world. It's a little place that's for itself, and I think that's especially important for the children, because so many of the children that come here don't know about nature and don't know about the park and don't get this feeling. I think that's really important for them to realize how precious it is here, that this has to be saved, it has to be here.